Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time zone you are in. My name is Attorney Justin Camper, and I am back to talk to you about another exciting topic and to give you legal insights for those of you who are interested in criminal law and those of you who may be facing a crime or have loved ones who are facing a crime. And on today, I want to talk about the highly controversial topic and the controversial case in the news, and that is the Karmelo Anthony case. And I'm not talking about Karmelo Anthony, the famous future Hall of Famer basketball star. I am talking about a 17-year-old kid, Karmelo Anthony, who was charged with first-degree murder. He was charged with first-degree murder because at a track event, he came into his tent and he stabbed them. And he stabbed them because allegedly this guy, this alleged victim in this case, tried to bully him. They got into a verbal altercation, and essentially, he ended up stabbing him. And so this has sparked a lot of controversy. The alleged victim in this case is white, and the criminal defendant in this case is a young black man. And so it has sparked conversations about race. It's been highly debated throughout the country. And so I want to give you my perspective as a criminal defense attorney as three key things that is going to impact greatly this case as it plays out. So let's talk about it. The number one thing that's going to impact Karmelo Anthony's case is the self-defense laws. In Texas, they have very clear self-defense laws. And so a person must believe that force is necessary to protect themselves from an unlawful attack. The force must be used in a reasonable way that's not excessive in relation to the threat. In this case, we're going to be dealing with whether a judge or a jury is going to believe that Karmelo Anthony had the right to use force, which is the knife, to protect himself, and he reasonably believed that he was in imminent danger of being harmed. And imminent means that he thought something was going to come to attack him soon, and it was a reasonable belief. It wasn't just something that completely unreasonable. And so that's going to be a big part of this case. In the state of Texas, there's no duty to retreat. So that means that if someone is confronting you with force or with deadly force, you have a right to stand your ground, and you have a right to defend yourself without retreating. If this is a place that you have a legal right to be. So number one is self-defense. That is going to be the key factor in this case. And I believe that a lot of people are going to talk about that. It's going to be highly debated. Was his actions reasonable in that moment? The number two thing that is going to greatly affect this case is the age of Karmelo Anthony. He is a 17-year-old. He was 17 years old when this happened, and he's a 17-year-old. Now, how that's going to affect this case is that, are they going to view him as a kid or are they going to view him as an adult? And he's actually being tried as an adult. He could have gone through the juvenile justice system. He's in other states, they may have done that. But in Texas, they're a little bit different. They treat him as an adult at 17. And so he's being charged with murder. And so he's also being charged with, he's also above the age of 14. And so they have the right to automatically waive him as an adult. So that's a big thing in here. So it would have been a juvenile case if it wasn't for that. But it's an adult case. And so it's going to play greatly into how the defense is going to play to the mindset of the defendant at the time. Him being a kid, him not understanding how to deal with certain things. I think that's going to play a huge factor as to how the defense is going to try to portray this event. So I think that his age is a very key thing here. Also, because of his age, he avoids getting the death penalty. He can, however, be sentenced to life without parole. So he can get a life sentence, but he cannot get the death penalty. And the reason for that is because of his age. So age is a huge factor in this case, and we got to keep watching to see how it's going to play out. Another thing is that the last thing I really want to focus on is the impact of public perception. How is that going to be a key role in this case? It's going to be a huge role. We saw that whether it was in the George Floyd case and whether it was in the George Timmerman case when the alleged victim was Trayvon Martin, and all these cases, it had a huge impact, right? And some people believe that the officer that was charged and found guilty in the George Floyd case, some people believe that it's because of the public pressure, what the president said about it, and that they felt that if they did not come with a guilty verdict, that they were, it was going to be an uproar in the country, and so they felt they had to. I don't know if I believe that, but that's what some people, that's the argument that some people make. So the impact of the public perception is going to be huge. It's going to impact the jury. A lot of people are going to be disqualified because of bias. They've heard the case on the news. It's going to be hard to really find a fair and impartial jury in this case because the case is spread wide, right? So they can't just change venue. They can't just change counties. It's a spread wide case. The jury pool is already polluted, and so there are going to be people with agendas, and so the defense and the prosecutor have to fight hard to try to vet out people who they think is not going to help their case. And so it's going to be a very hard jury pool selection. Also, it's going to be a lot of media scintillation, right? It's going to be so much depictions on who Karmelo is, whether he was just a stone cold killer or whether he's just a young innocent kid. The lawyers in this case might do a little bit above and extra and beyond because of the media. And I heard that the defense is actually taking on this case for free. So they're doing it just because they want that publicity, right? And so it's going to be huge, right? How they talk to the media, how they defend him, how they advocate for him, it's going to be huge. And every little thing is going to add up into the total defense for him. Another huge impact is that it's going to be a huge pressure on the prosecutors. They're going to feel obligated to get a strong conviction. If they get anything less than a guilty, they're going to feel that their office is let down. So there's a lot of pressure on the prosecutor's office right now. And again, I think that it could play into its whole fact of, maybe Karmelo would have been found normally guilty under the law, but because race has been bought into it, it is going to impact how people are going to see him in this case. And so it can cause sympathy in a lot of ways. So it's going to be some really big impacts to this case. There's gonna be some key things that's going to happen. Like I said, number one, we're going to have to focus on self-defense laws. Self-defense laws are going to be debated. It's going to be argued. Number two, his age is going to be hugely important. What was going on in the mind of a 17-year-old kid when another kid came to got into an argument, and what would cause him to pull out a knife and to or to, I don't know if it was a knife, but some sort of object to stab him. And then also public perception. How is that going to play into all of this? Can we get a fair and impartial judge and a fair and impartial jury to really look at the facts and to really look at the law and to see if he's guilty of those crimes or if he's not guilty? So I want to be giving my personal legal opinion about this case. As more facts come out, every good lawyer knows that you can't make a legal call or give legal advice or make a legal decision without having all the facts, and a lot of facts are still out there, and so it's still a lot to obtain. And so I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I'm looking forward to giving my opinion on it. But so far, those are my 3 key things that are going to impact this case. And so if you are facing criminal charges, or someone that are facing criminal charges within the state of Indiana, please have them give me a call. Please reach out to my office. My name is Attorney Justin Camper, and I want you to always, always, always remember to stay legal. See you in the next video.